We're going to talk about this new movie coming out from Disney called Wish, and I've seen the trailer. I've watched a lot of the stuff that's on it and a lot of the information that's out on it. And I want to tell you just right off the bat that this movie is going to be like Satanism repackaged. And
So, I haven't covered this guy in quite a long time. He tends to just hate women. That seems to, how like different pastors focus on different things. He focuses on hating women. That seems to be what he does. So we're gonna have to go ahead and break it down. I am Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. So like I said, this guy is nuts. He's got like these weird documentary things. Nope, not that one. He's got these documentary things that he does that he calls First Adam, and then like First Adam 2, and then First Adam 3. And the last one, I think I covered like half of it. Is trying to do as long a stream as I could. And it was like First Adam 3, the divine feminine or something, and it was basically just about like how the world's gonna end if like women are not being oppressed in one way or another, if they have like any kind of spotlight on them that isn't subjugating them in some way or another. So yeah, this dude's fucking crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what's up here. Is what it's he's nuts.
all right, guys, thank you for watching today's video. My name is Spencer Smith. I'm a Baptist preacher. We talk about contemporary theological issues on this channel. Go ahead and hit your like button and subscribe to this channel if you're new. We're going to talk about this new movie coming out from Disney called Wish, and I've seen the trailer. I've watched a lot of the stuff that's on it and a lot of the information that's out on it. And I want to tell you just right off the bat that this movie is going to be like Satanism repackaged. And I want to warn you about this.
What the fuck does that mean? What is what? First of all, what kind? Like, what is Like, what do you mean by Satanism? The one that's a satanic temple, or are you talking about the made up one that's like from all the movies and stuff? The movies where like the kids have like an eyeball on their hand and they opened a gate in the backyard. Like, which one are you talking about?
Movie. Because there are messages that are put in these movies that are designed to pull your children away from God, away from the Bible, and ultimately poison their mind against the gospel. And I want to tell you about this, and I know I've said a lot.
It's so crazy too, because it's like so many times all it is just it's not Christian. And that's it. It's just not Christian. It's not just about like it's not about like completely surrendering your entire brain to this religion. And if it's not that, then it's in Satan everywhere. Like it's pathetic.
Already, that just sounds like that sounds like the rants of some crazy fundamentalist preacher.
Wow. Okay. A moment of lucidity there. It sounds like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, what am I doing with myself here? I don't even, wow. I sound like a crazy person and I'm filming it. I probably shouldn't do that.
And so, but I think I have a good point. I want to share with you my ideas here. So basically, here's the idea of the movie. Here's the plot: is that there's this kingdom called Rosa, and this kingdom is ruled by a man named King Magnifico. And ultimately, there's this girl in the kingdom, and she goes to do an internship with him. And she discovers somewhere along the way that this king could grant people's wishes, but he has actually chosen not to grant as many wishes as he could, and thus tainting the moral character of King Magnifico in the.
So so he's kind of mad that it's the problem of evil. It seems it seems like it's needling at the problem of evil, which is kind of funny if you ask me, because yeah, that is a problem for them. They don't want to act like it is, but it absolutely is. If it was like if it wasn't monotheist where it's like just one God in control of everything, it wouldn't be a problem. But it is a problem for monotheists.
The mind of this young lady. And so what she does is she actually decides that I'm going to go and find some sort of magic myself, and I am going to challenge King Magnifico, and I'm going to overthrow this bad guy who's in charge. and I'm going to usher in some sort of utopia. And for some reason, it has something to do with chickens, and I have no idea why. We'll find out, I guess, when the movie comes out.
So what? So you literally are just admitting you don't know what you're talking about. There's like a thing about chickens in there or something. I don't know. But the plot is that the king doesn't grant enough wishes, and it's a woman being against a man, and the man's the bad guy, evil. It's the Satan. It's just all Satan.
what she does is she actually calls upon the typical Disney trope. She wishes upon a star, and this star comes down from the universe and gives her the ability to manipulate magic, and basically she becomes a witch, and she becomes a very powerful witch, but a good witch nonetheless, of course. And then of course that really is going to be the plot of the movie.
I mean,
So
I almost wonder, does she just have magic, and just because she has magic? I mean, it's a fucking Disney movie, man. Of course, there's gonna be magic, and if it's a woman that has magic, witch, it's just like, yeah, she's just basically becomes a witch. You mean she just got some magic from a star, dude? Fucking is Pinocchio a goddamn witch, man?
guys, this is a typical Gnostic movie. And if you study our Third Adam series and go watch all those, you have
See,
Third Adam 2, we talk about the pagan trinity, and Third Adam 3, we talk about Gnosticism and what that is, and how you're trying to break free from a system and things like that. And then also we talk about Third Adam 4, the false Holy Spirit, and the power of all this.
oh my God, there's a fourth one. I watched the third one, the rise of the divine feminine. You know, it's about like in the end times before the world ends, like women will be like, up there, like worshipped or whatever.
Magical stuff that's going on. And I want you to know this: when it comes to Disney movies, you have to understand that Walt Disney was actually a Freemason. And really for a long time that was a conspiracy to me, and I've asked people to prove it to me, and many of them could not. So I went down the rabbit hole myself, and I came out the other end saying, yes, he absolutely is a Freemason. And I've got the proof to show you
So
that.
what? It's so funny when they like take this stuff and turn it into like, oh, he was a Freemason, so that means the Illuminati, Satan, the mark of the beast, the Illuminati. It's all connected. It's all in there. Like and if you try to get any kind of clear answer out of these people of like what any of this means, they got nothing. All they know is that it's secret. It's not, Christian, and they're done. They're done talking. That's it. They're out of reasons.
We were going to put it in Third Adam 4, but it just didn't fit. So we have, there's really like a lost hour of Third Adam 4.
Dude, these things are like 3 hours long. They're insane. I tried to do like a long live stream of it, and I was exhausted. Of course, I was drinking back then. So yeah, I got exhausted though by the end.
And we're going to try to roll that out to you before too long. But guys, let me tell you this: there is going to be a Satanic or Gnostic or Freemason slant.
What? Those are all
these...
three completely different things, man. Like, what are you talking about? It's like Satanic, or a synonym for that is Freemason. Is synonym for that is Gnostic. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Movies, and I want you to know that Freemasonry and Christianity are completely opposite of each other. They are incompatible. There is no way that you can hold to the philosophies and the teachings of Freemasonry and call yourself a Bible-believing Christian.
Dude, if anybody's unfamiliar, Freemasons are a bunch of fucking dorks. It's just what do you call it? It's a fraternity that's not at college. That's it. And it's like for business connections and stuff. You're supposed to help each other with connections. And that's it. That's it. And yeah, you get up in the levels of it and everything. They don't control anything. They don't cause like world events to happen or anything like that. It's just a bunch of dorks that get together and wear the druid outfits for different rituals or whatever. But it's just really dorky stuff that's just trying to get business contacts. That's it.
You just can't do it. They are total opposite. And really, my advice to you, if you are a Freemason, you're watching this video, my advice to you is to repent and believe the gospel and trust Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Repent for being a Freemason. Jesus Christ. These people are insane, man.
Be born again. Wow. And so here's what I want you to see, and I'm gonna explain Gnosticism to you. And
Lisa said he looks like he lived or he still lives in his mom's basement. Where do you think he's got the whiteboard, man? He's like, Mom, you got a whiteboard? I need one for I'm doing a stream. Well, Mom, come on.
I'm gonna
Can we have sandwiches? Mom, meatloaf.
interject points in this movie where this is a Gnostic movie. Okay. Now, for example, let me give you what we're going to call Gnosticism 101 right here.
Good.
In Gnosticism, you have something called the demiurge. Now, let me just erase these arrows that I have here just to give you some clarity of thought as we go into this topic here. You have this terrible, horrible being, this monster right here called the demiurge. Now, the demiurge is actually produced by Sophia. Sophia is the mother of the demiurge. And this demiurge created the world that you and I live in right now. And he created Adam and Eve. And the God of Genesis 1 and Genesis 3 that put them in the garden, that guy's a bad guy. And
I like how they switch. They like completely skipped 2, Genesis 2, because it's like basically in contrast to like what they to the other versions of it. It's like a different version, like right away. They're like, ah, shit, this is like already fucked up. Like you can't even get 3 chapters in before it fucks up.
Horrible person. And he is a monster. He's very arrogant. The Garden of Eden was not some beautiful utopia that Adam and Eve lived in. It was a prison in which they were locked in against their will. And so one day they were freed by Lucifer. And so really that's Gnostic theology, which sounds awful satanic because it is satanic. And so what happens is that eventually, if you interpret,
that's like that. And I can't remember what kind. It's almost like it reminds me of that, like the Temple is Set or whatever. There's like some like ancient sect of like magic with a K or whatever, like some old fucking man, what was that guy's name? Damn, I always forget his name. Weird looking bald guy that was obsessed with magic and stuff from like forever ago. And he's like the father of Satanism or witchcraft or whatever the fuck. And that seems like that's what he's talking about here. But all right.
The Bible,
like, nobody believes this shit anymore, man. This is like the oldest. This like basically died out like a century ago.
Through a Gnostic lens, you're going to see that you're going to believe rather that Jesus Christ came and he came into creation as some sort of high aeon godlike creature. And he awakened something inside of mankind and told them there was a power inside of you. And if you'll use and harness that power, then you can break free of these terrible chains of this terrible, arrogant demiurge, this bloodthirsty guy who told Joshua to go into the Canaan land and kill all the Canaanites. This arrogant Gnostic demiurge who told everybody that you couldn't worship any other gods. This one who put out these 10 commandments, who said that if you worship anybody else besides me, you deserve the death penalty. That horrible creature is almost like you're in a toxic middle school boyfriend relationship with this guy. Jesus Christ came to set you.
Have you read the book, man? It sounds like all that stuff. That's where it just gets crazy because like these what he's taking are like old interpretations before they got to his interpretation, which he thinks is super cool and nice, and these are ancient interpretations of I was just actually watching something where they were talking about that. I think it was the Guild of Inquiries, like a new show, and they were talking about it on there. Anyway,
you free from all that stuff and break free from what they called the law, and that's how the Gnostics interpreted the Bible. And so if you will just harness this spirit power will give you, you can transcend and go up and be a part of all this. Now,
but take all this with a grain of salt, because like he's trying to like delegitimize all the Gnostic gospels, it seems. And there was a bunch of just gospels, and some of them were picked for the canon, which were the 4 gospels, because they were basically the only ones that lined up at least a little bit, at least lined up like enough for them to say that they were all the same story. And then the rest were considered Gnostic gospels, which they do this in order to get rid of them and throw them away and be like, oh yeah, that's just crazy people pretending to be Christian or whatever.
Here's what I want you to know. The pagan religions of history always have the same pattern. There is a satanic trinity that is out there, and it involves the Abraxas, the Christ and the Sophia. Now, the Abraxas
Abraxas?
is a
What the fuck? The Abraxas. That sounds like a bad guy in fucking what's that? In Dune. Like that sounds like a Dune bad guy, dude.
creature that the Knights Templar actually would put on coins and things like that. The Abraxas is the pagan or satanic equivalent to God the Father, and the name Abraxas is actually where we get the word abracadabra from.
Oh,
And
well, it's
so
already
that's
evil.
a very interesting little piece of history there. And then Christ would be, of course, God the Son. And of course, this is going to be a false Christ. And then Sophia is God the Spirit. Now, here's what I want you to know.
Sophia's the spirit. Okay.
Is that not only is Abraxas, from a pagan standpoint, Abraxas would be the equivalent to Nimrod.
What?
Okay. And then you have Sophia.
How does that make
which
sense? That doesn't make sense. Nimrod was trying to build a tower to God, and he like got angry at God and everything. Like how does that make any sense? These two beings were at odds with each other in the story. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
would be Semiramis.
Stupid.
Right here. And there's different spellings of that. So if I spell it different than what you are familiar with, forgive me. And then we have right here Tammuz.
What is all
And
this?
so you got
This is
the
all
pagan
nonsense.
trinity is Abraxas, the father, or Nimrod. And then we have the Sophia, which is the Holy Spirit of paganism, and her name is Semiramis. And then you have the son of paganism, which is Tammuz or Christ. Here's where
it's like he's already gone through these names like 7 times.
here's
Right,
the missing piece that you need to have before you understand and for you to really understand this movie and why this is a terrible thing. This woman, this girl's name is Aisha, okay? And Aisha depends on what etymology you get into, but her name literally means wish, and that's probably why the movie is called Wish.
Or maybe that's why her name is Aisha in the movie Wish. You know, man, I don't know. I know it's crazy.
She actually butts heads with the demiurge, which is King Magnifico, and so she seeks a power. She realizes that the king of Rosa, right, this right here.
Good, because I wasn't. I was going to
forget. The kingdom of Rosa is a prison, and everybody in there is trapped in this terrible, terrible cult. And she realizes that this King Magnifico,
oh my God, you're going to write out,
is the demiurge. Okay, so she reaches out, and there's actually a scene where she's looking up to the sky and wishing upon a star.
How fucking evil. She did what? What? Was she saying like a little rhyme or an incantation when she did it? Like, that the rhymes and everything? Like what?
Now, that has been the trope for Disney. I mean, I remember I think the first mention of that in the Disney movies was Pinocchio a long time ago.
So,
which there's Gnosticism in Pinocchio as well. When you wish upon a star and this star creature comes down and teaches her how to harness all this power.
It's a little star emoji. Look at that. It's like that's pretty cute, actually.
That star that she wishes upon is the Gnostic Christ. Okay,
what?
That's exactly who she's wished upon. Now, let me show you this.
I love when they just have to start making stuff that makes no sense for their thing to work. Like, where is the Christ then in this whole thing? Like, fuck. This going to be the star that she went. That's it. That's the crap. I nailed it. All right, write that down. Wow, that was good. How did you come up? Wow.
Like I said, the pagan trinity. Here's how it worked as well. You have this right here, that Abraxas, the God the Father, was the Son. And if you notice, there's a vision.
Hold on,
in
because you got a son, and then now you got the son with the O. Like, this is going to get confusing.
8. Where he faces east towards the sun, and you find there that they were weeping for Tammuz there in that vision of Ezekiel 8. It's very interesting reading. You ought to go check it out in your King James Bible. And then there was the image.
It's all weird about the King. He's one of those. Like, it better be the King James version, because the NIV took the word Jesus out a couple times. So evil. Instead of saying, like, because the verse would be like, Jesus went down to the store, and then Jesus walked down the street, and then Jesus did that, and it was all like the same sentence, and they would be like, okay, Jesus went here and then he did this and then he did that or whatever. And they're like, fuck, evil. Like, this is terrible. How could they do
image of jealousy and that type of stuff. But facing east towards the sun was a pagan practice because they worshiped the sun god, which was Abraxas. And then you have Sophia. She was actually the moon. And so that's why, like in a lot of
complete
feminism and a lot of witchcraft, you see a lot of moon imagery, is because they're trying to harness the power of Sophia.
You have both, man. Wow. This is where it gets so dumb. Because like I remember there was this family that like moved in down the street and they had that same sun of the sun that he showed. And it's you know, with the little face on it. And we like had to ignore them and everything because my family believed they were witches and stuff because they had a sun with a face on the outside of their house. So it's not just the moon thing. This is where they just start making stuff up. They're just lying, you know. It's just all like it's both of it, man. That's why you have both the moon and the sun on the Ouija board and stuff. It's both, man. They're just so stupid.
Sophia. And of course, Sophia has many different names. Ashtoreth in the book of Acts, her name is Diana, and things of that nature.
Why would they do that?
Here, I want you to notice that.
Why could, like, the Bible is all written by the perfect God, right? Why would he switch out names for stuff, man? If he's still talking about the same thing, the same God, same like inspired words, they're talking about the same thing. Why wouldn't they not use the same word? It's insane. This is where it just shows that they're just drawing connection. He's doing the fucking conspiracy whiteboard. I mean, literally, he does. He's just missing push pins and yarn. That's all. he's got a whiteboard with arrows and stuff instead.
That the sun, moon, and also the Tammuz, the sun of the pagan trinity, is a star. So when you wish upon a star, you're calling upon the false Christ of Gnosticism. So really, that little cutesy star figure that you have in this movie is going to be a picture of a Gnostic satanic Jesus, is what that is.
Gnostic satanic Jesus. They think everything is about them, man. Like we can't even have a star in something without him being like, hold on, how could this possibly be my religion but evil? Let me think about this. Hold on, I gotta map this out. Do we have a whiteboard? I need a whiteboard.
This here is going to be how the movie is going to lay out. She's going to rise up against a demiurge, which is going to be Magnifico in the Kingdom of Rosa.
It seems like he's saying that the Magnifico is actually the good, is this good like God or whatever.
Transcend, and she's going to when all these walls of all this break down, and when this demiurge is finally overthrown, she's going to usher in a utopia. She's going to usher in a wonderful world where, you know, we were held back by this guy. But when I'm in charge, when I lead everybody to this wonderful place, everybody's good dreams is going to come true. Everybody's wishes are going to be granted. And when we named Third Adam 4 the Road to Shambhala, that was the Tibetan Buddhist version of what we're talking about. It's in the New Age, it's called the Age of Aquarius. It's also, I mean, really what it is the satanic version of the millennial kingdom that is coming when Christ comes to rule and reign on this earth.
Holy Lord, none of that was anything. All of this, he's like just saying that there's a Hindu version now. Like, because the Hindu version would predate Christianity. I hope you understand that, man. Your religion came way later than Hinduism, man. Like, I don't know by how much, but it's by a lot. Okay.
So this movie is not going to be innocent. It's not going to be benign. It's going to have a very heavy Gnostic message to it. Okay, so with all of that being said so far,
he's just like, okay, fuck all the rest of that. That was dumb. That was stupid. Let me just get out of this. Let me get out.
You guys should absolutely avoid this movie, and I'm going to tell you why. Because first and foremost,
don't watch it. Don't just forget everything I was going to say. I'm not saying it, but just don't see it. Don't.
This movie is going to teach your children Gnosticism, and Gnosticism is Satanism. This is the idea that God is bad, and that we need to try to call upon some magical powers to try to overthrow the demiurge of our lives.
This is so funny because this is like one of those things where you see that like this guy thinks that like kids that can tell the difference between fantasy and reality are going to do what he does and not be able to tell the difference. You know, that's going to teach them it. You know, they're just going to learn that it's all this stuff, all this magic stuff is actually true. And the problem is that with kids growing up in families like his, that is actually kind of a problem, because they teach their kids that there are talking snakes and there are, people that can walk on water and turn water into wine, and, talking donkeys, and just things that are obviously fantasy, and they're teaching it as fact. So it is actually kind of a problem for them to go see any kind of movie, really, because they're just like, is that real? Is that real? Well, when we have the talking snakes, so why couldn't this also be real? That's pretty stupid. What you think you're saying is real. Why couldn't this also be real? So it's so funny. And now he's like, well, this teaches your kid Gnosticism, but like all you'd have to do is be like, yeah, that's not real though. That's just a movie, man. Like that's just it's literally a cartoon. My goodness.
Now, I want to tell you something. Most people don't get this, but I wish more Christian people would get this. I wish more of these big name voices would understand what I'm about to say, and maybe they will in time. But all of this woke stuff that's happening out there
Here we go.
today, this whole I'm a feminist, or I'm a I'm a socialist, or we're victims of capitalism. All this idea that we are bound by a system is all born out of Gnosticism. That's really what it is at the end of the day. These
What?
people, they play this victim card, and we need to overthrow this system because ultimately they are Gnostics at heart. That's why girls go into feminism.
What are you talking about, man? Like, are you trying to deny that capitalism is not are you trying to say that it's not a system? Like, what the hell is it then? Define system then, man. Like, what's happening here? You're just like, oh, they're saying that they're a victim. People are victims of this system. I feel like it's all you got to do is drive down the fucking street for a minute and run into somebody holding a goddamn sign to see that, yeah, this system does create victims. That's how this is capitalism, man. Like it's the myth of meritocracy. It's all the people that have will continue to have, and they'll actually gain a lot more. And the people that are busting their ass, working as hard as they possibly can, will probably never attain much at all.
Went into Gnosticism first. And Gnosticism and feminism are inseparable. And so, not only that, but I want you to know also that with these
like there's equality among genders, it's like that's just got to be Gnosticism. It's so weird when he like turns this into something completely different. It has nothing to do with Gnosticism, man. I don't know. Like, okay, this is just, hey, we saw a problem. We're like, hey, man, that's not really fair. Dogs understand fairness, buddy. And so we like saw, hey, these women are being treated differently. Maybe we should do something about this, And so, but that's Gnosticism. That's just Satan, the satanic version of the Bible story.
Movies that are like this. Wow. And we cover this in the third Adam series. Thanos in the Marvel movies, the bad guy that came and invaded the earth, tried to take over the earth.
What?
He is Jesus in these movies. It is what? The book of Revelation told from Satan's perspective. The whole thing's inverted, and that really is like the law of inversion. And Aleister Crowley talked about that kind of stuff.
Crowley, that's what it is. That's the guy I was trying to think of. That's funny. Of course he says his name. Oh my God. Yeah. This is like this ancient ass magic shit that's from forever ago that nobody follows this shit anymore, as far as I could tell. You might like have some like Wiccans that like know what it is and stuff, but they don't believe in it the way he's talking about it.
But in this movie, I want you to know that
I'm never going to be able to get over the Thanos is Jesus thing. That is brilliant, man. I love it. I need to go and find his video about Thanos.
Magnifico, the bad guy, the one who could make all of your dreams come true, but he decides what's good for you and decides sometimes to not give you all of your wishes. He holds you back from all of these amazing things.
People give their wishes to me, and I grant the wishes I am sure are good for Rosas.
Some of these will never be granted.
Not some, most.
They deserve more than...
I decide what everyone deserves.
Magnifico is Jesus. Okay, that's who this guy is. And
sure, buddy. Okay. I mean, why would he be? I thought you just said the fucking star was Jesus, man. And now this is Jesus. Like it's crazy when they start to just forget what they said earlier, that the whole Gnostic version is the star is Jesus, the thing that grants all the wishes or whatever. Now he's making Jesus the bad guy, when just a bit ago he was saying this was God the Father. God damn, this is so stupid. This guy is ridiculous.
So when you think about kids watching this movie, they're programmed with this whole skeleton mindset of thinking, and God
What?
the Father and
They're programmed with this whole skeleton mind of thinking. Fucking what, man? What are you doing, dude?
Jesus is the bad guy in this movie. And so that's who Magnifico is. Magnifico is Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And this girl is going to take on some sort of power, some spirit power from
Why
a
is
star
it-
entity. That's going to be Satan. And
What? You just said that was Jesus. All right.
so she is empowered
This
by
is so
Satan to
stupid.
overthrow Jesus Christ. That is ultimately the message of this movie. Now, you may think that's crazy, but that's
Yeah,
what this is.
a little bit.
This is Freemasonry. This is the occult.
Freemasonry.
This is the inversion of religiosity.
It can't be all these things, man. They're mutually exclusive. Like, how is it all these different things simultaneously, dude? This guy is completely fucking wow, dude. You got it. Like Apophenia is just running amok here, man. Like this guy, his pattern recognition is just all off the charts. Quit taking, like, I think you got like ergot poisoning or something, buddy. Like, something's going
And
on.
this is what they're going to teach. So avoid this movie at all costs. Your children.
It's not teaching anything, man. It's a fucking movie. It's a fantasy movie. It's a cartoon. This is like me saying that, like, and the Ninja Turtles represent Satan and his three other brothers. Like, you know, and the mutants turn to animal. Like, you know, come on, man. This is insane. This is just a fucking Disney story. And he's got to turn it into some crazy backwards nonsense, like Illuminati, whatever. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Be poisoned by this movie. I promise you that. And guys, if you want more information on this, I'd encourage you go check out our Third Adam
He
series.
just like went on a racist rant and was like, I should probably take that racist part out, right? The part about the Jews, yeah, I should probably take that out.
I get messages from people all the time asking about, you know, why do you not believe in women preachers and the such like? And my first question is, have you seen the Third Adam series? And unfortunately, there's still a bunch of people who have not seen this yet. And
it's like 9 hours long, man. I could barely handle, and it's a lot of just this. It's a lot of this. You just standing in front of a fucking whiteboard, circling stuff, you know, and then saying that things are some things, and then saying that they're not those same things later, because you can't even keep track of your own bullshit. Okay, so yeah, people don't want to watch your nonsense, man. It's boring and fucking. You walk away from it feeling more insane somehow.
And so this star power that this
is why Mario is also satanic, because he gets star power, and that represents Satan, the morning star, who is also Jesus somehow in the book. They messed up by calling both Jesus and Satan the morning star.
Girl is going to harness in this movie and start to use in this movie. That star power is going to be the occult ether energy force.
What?
That's
occult ether energy force. Wow, man. You gotta just pick one of the words and go with it, man. Like, you don't have to. He's like, it's all the stuffs. It's all of them, just everything together.
Exactly what she's going for. She is going to be empowered by a satanic being to
this thing. This is the satanic being. You gotta. Oh my God, you can't get dumber than this shit, man. Wow, this guy, I don't know why I was sleeping on this guy for so long, man.
Overthrow God.
It's hilarious.
Which ultimately is what witchcraft is. And ultimately what the New Age is. Become your own God. And really the verse I want to give you here is in Genesis chapter 3.
Okay, buddy.
And when Satan came to Eve and spoke to her, it says there that verse number 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Genesis 3:4. And verse 5 says this, for God doth know in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So
yeah, and that was accurate. I don't know how he can sit there and turn that into a lie. That's literally because they're like, oh, ye shall be as gods, right? But then he says what he means by that, knowing good and evil. That's accurate. That is exactly what they would have been. There's no dishonesty here at all. God was the one that lied and said that on that day they would die, and they didn't. Satan was the only one telling the truth in this story. Now, I'm not like some Satanist, whatever the fuck, Crowley, whatever person or anything, but that's just how the story goes. That's the only way you can like logically break that story down, unless you're literally equivocating what lie means. You know, you're just changing definitions to serve what you think, to make the bad guy a bad guy in your story, when God is the one being dishonest in this story.
The idea of becoming your own God, being empowered and growing up,
and sure said, "Aw, the Satanic being is so cute." It is
going up and joining this crowd
little
right
star power star, you know.
here. That's New Age. Really, that's Luciferian doctrine. And that's what this movie
New Age. Okay. New Age is Luciferian doctrine. New Age is based off of like Hinduism and stuff, like Buddhism and Hinduism and things like that. It's just not your religion, man. And it's so funny how they take like any, like, oh, is that a religion that's not mine? Satanism, Luciferianism. It's all of that, you know, because it's New Age or whatever. When no, actually, it's kind of ironic. New Age is getting their stuff from earlier religions than Christianity.
Your family. So be aware of that. Be on guard. And I know it's heavy stuff, but we're gonna throw that at you. And hope you
Heavy
enjoy it.
stuff, yeah.
So,
The cartoon is satanic, man. That is heavy. That is pretty heavy. You know. But hey, if you want some heavy stuff for the bedroom, go to adamandeve.com. Enter, I don't know, that didn't make sense, but whatever, you know, it's fine. adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley at checkout. That's BRENTLY at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com, enter that code word Brentley, and get your exclusive offer. Get your butt some stuff. Seriously, you're gonna love it. All right, well, I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for this guy moving forward. Maybe we'll do one of his the Adam things, first Adam, whatever the hell they're called, these dumb things. We'll try to make it through an entire one without, you know, dying of intense boredom. I don't know. But hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want to support the show, there's a couple of different ways you can do that. The easiest right now is just liking and subscribing. If you haven't done that already, that always helps. And if financially, the easiest way is just going to Cash App. My cash tag is Punk Apostate, all one word. And that would really help out a lot. But we also have a Patreon and different things like that. If you want to go into the show notes, they will be there. And then, of course, you can support us by supporting our sponsor, adamandeve.com, and entering that code word Brentley. But hey, thank you all so much for hanging out. This is so fun. I will find more of these. Hopefully, the next ones will be longer because this is kind of short. But hey, make sure you stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time.